G'day and welcome to the Inforunners. I'm Execute. This is Algared, and we're joined today by Space Tomato. Earlier on today, we were doing a stream, or Space Tomato streaming. I was just there being a pain in the butt. But we actually went through his. Normally, kind of do it behind the scenes with people's fleets. This one we kind of did live on stream for an hour and a half, which was kind of interesting because the chat got to interact and kind of ask questions and stuff like that. So I assume you'll have that up as a VOD or on the YouTube at some point, Tomato?
Yeah, I
Or
might take that and throw that on YouTube, but it's definitely on Twitch. I'll save it over there.
yeah. So I'll try and get a link from Space Tomato and chuck that in the description if you would like to catch that as behind the scenes. But yeah, after that we went into. Hang on, I'm going to click the right button. That one. And this is the kind of fleet that you started out with.
Yep.
And I'll kind of get what I did on the live stream and get you to go through it again and just tell us about why you got the ships or how you got the ships and what was your plans for those ships. So kicking off with the Nox.
Yeah, okay, so let's start with the Nox. I got the Nox just because I wanted a ground vehicle, really. I got it at the concept sale when they first revealed it. I was like, hey, that's cool. It's a hover bike. I need to get around at some point. This thing is small. Looks pretty nifty, so I got it. I thought it would be a good LTI token. Because like I told you before, that was back when I cared about that.
Yep.
So I grabbed one, thought it was, killing two birds with one stone. Turns out that there were no birds, and I just threw the stone, and now I can get rid of it.
So that's a Q, by the way. Yeah, you had a Nox Q.
Yeah, it's a Nox Q. And then there's the Dragonfly. That's just a referral reward. I got that for the Christmas promotion they were just doing.
Yep.
The Merlin, I think, was also a referral. I think that was during the event in October, or maybe the birthday event. I don't remember which one, but yeah, that was also an award. The Pisces was a gift I got back when, I think about a year ago, when the Carrick was brought on. And I thought it was going to be a great little runabout, a little ferrying ship that I could use to fly down to planets or transport a passenger or two here and there. Sort of my mini little daily driver ship.
I still think it is. I still think it is, by the way.
I would say it definitely is still a cute little ship for that type of
Cool. Pisces is happy. The 135 was actually the successor to that. So the Pisces was originally sad because the 135 came in and swept up all the hype. I've been waiting for the 135 since the concept sale. That's when I bought it. So last ship I bought. And I thought it would be a better fit for me because I want to.
I was just going to say, I think the Pisces is probably a bit more of an all-rounder than this. So, this does have more cargo, but the Pisces can also carry 3 people, which is not to be underestimated. It's quite strong.
And the Pisces is significantly cheaper.
Yeah. But I also like the bed on the 135. But with the Carrick, as we've talked about, which is coming later on, that it changes the equation.
Yes.
Moving on to the Terrapin. The Terrapin was the first ship I really felt like I was going to use when the game launched. It's an exploration ship. That's my primary focus. That's what I want to do. Explore, be a data broker. They also kind of sold it to me. They did this around the Verse episode that was about ship audio. And they used the Terrapin as the test bed, and it was really impressive, and I loved it. So that helped me. That sort of helped me push towards buying it.
I too had a really good I've held onto the ship for a really, really long time, and it wasn't until the last anniversary sale that I got rid of it.
The way I look at this ship, it's stupidly expensive for what it is. So I always assume that they must be planning on doing something in the game to make this ship much more useful and valuable. At least that's my hope.
I think one of the things that does make this ship useful and valuable is the fact that it's got that optional mount for 2 size 2 scanners. There's very few ships that actually have optional mounts for scanners. That's one of them. The Aquila is one of them, and I think the MSR might have the ability to change the scanner on it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but certainly those two.
The main problem with this ship is what we call the starting profession ship. So this is
Yeah.
everything from like a herald to a vulture to a prospector to a Vulcan to this.
Yeah.
Anything that is the first tier ship as a profession are overpriced. They're really
Yeah.
overpriced. And this was the first one that came out and really kind of started that trend. And I think the Vulcan came out after it, and they're the two that are really notoriously bad. I probably need, that graph we looked at before on your
Yeah.
live stream. I probably need to go back and actually look at the Terrapin and see where that sits, because it actually kind of does tell you how valuable ships are. And this ship is now over $200. Remember how I was saying we generally don't recommend ships under $200? This is one of those ships, and the Vulcan, that break that rule where it technically is over $200, but it's not worth the $200. So
Yep.
therefore, it kind
Sure.
of breaks that rule we were talking about. So this isn't.
Well,
I love this ship. I love the feel of it, the look of it, and all that stuff. But you've got to take yourself out of that equation and come back to that bang for buck mentality. And also, it's a smaller ship. You can take, say, something like the Carrick and earn this ship, and that's kind of what I did with you earlier on today, and as the viewers will see in a bit when we show the final fleet, that's
And-
kind of a real mentality.
And when you look at the whole idea of ships under 200, originally that was taken in terms of, for fighters, sell your fighters, because in terms of bang for buck, they're not there. And we kind of had to modify that when the profession starters came out, because often profession starters are above that point. And so it's kind of ships under 200 and profession starters. Ships you kind of don't want to hang on to. They're nice ships. They're great ships. They might do a great job, but when you look at what they can do, they don't really scale up.
It was like that sell your fighters thing, and that's why it's kind of changed and it's evolved as time's gone by. It was sell your fighters, and then it was ships under $200, and now it's $200, and there are exceptions to that, and I'm sure it'll probably change again.
I've personally been going $250 below.
Yeah.
If you're looking for value for money, often below $250, you're
would have to add that in there.
Starters.
That's not. And that's I think you could say under 250 for ships that their final in-game value. That would be my only thing I would say to that, because there are things like the Santoki Eye. That's another fighter that's was it currently 225? So, but I digress. I do agree with you. All right, getting back to the mission at hand. Gladius.
The Gladius is a referral reward, I believe. Yeah.
So that's so this is.
I have no attachment to that.
Gladius and Guns referral reward.
Yeah, but it's one we've got to hold on to because it's got a $0 melt value, and the same thing with this one.
I just want to see the cool buttons in that ship when they do it. Whatever. The Silver Raven was one that I actually seeked out and bought on eBay. And I was telling you I bought that because I thought it was cool. I was like, and it's rare. Yeah, nobody's got this. I'm gonna buy this. I picked it up like 3 years ago, maybe.
That's not true, because both me and Algared both have it as well. So
well, you guys are special too. All right, don't take that away from me.
Yeah, we're special. That's right.
Right. The Talon.
The Talon was gifted to me by an amazing member of our community, and it's a pretty cool ship. Ermdahl.
All right.
He's an incredible virtual photographer. If you guys have seen his work, make sure to give him a shout out. He's really good at these super, super wide pictures, but he takes some good shots. He is very kind. He gave me the Talon to try out, and I'm not much of a combat pilot, but I do appreciate the ship and I really enjoy flying it. It's a lot of fun.
It is a nice ship to fly. The only thing that I really hate about it is it's so long. You've got those two long tails. Chop them off and it's beautiful, but with those two long tails,
are those tails meant for anything? Or are they just aesthetic?
Well, on a bird they stabilize it, but I don't think they do anything on it.
I always hoped it was kind of like a tentacle, so it kind of like flowed behind it. I always thought that's what it was going to do, but it never ever did. I always thought that would have been really cool if it was all flowy.
No, I just think it's a swallow's tail. It just helps with stabilization for a bird, but for this it's just aesthetic.
Just chop them off.
Tell us about this disaster.
Disaster. That is
Well,
is
it is
the original.
Origin. It is Origin, so there you go.
That is the original draw. That is the ship that got me into the game. That was my original pledge for Star Citizen back in 2014, 2015, I think. And I really got it. It was more so because there was a lack of anything else I saw that really grabbed me. I just wanted a cool looking ship that did stuff in the game. I wasn't particularly into combat, but I thought this had the coolest paint job of the 300 series, and the 300 series looked better than the Aurora and Mustang, so I got it.
Molly.
The mole.
Do you get the?
Is...
do you guys get the reference? Molly. Do you get that or not?
Someone in the
comments will put down.
I know it. That's not Osmosis Jones, is it?
Nope.
No.
I'll tell you after. Put it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about.
All right. The mole I won from a contest, photography contest that CIG, the studio, did. That was a group contest back in like August or July or something.
Like was this like a group bikini contest or like?
Yeah, basically. So we got 10 members from my community, the Garden. We each sent in bikini pictures, and whoever was best got the mole from CIG.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And you cheated in what? I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no. We sent in pictures. It wasn't us. We just sent in pictures from other people.
Right. Okay. Cool. MSR.
The MSR. My favorite ship in the game. So I am very happy to have it. It was originally a ship that I was going to work towards. It was one of my end game ships, and I was very excited to earn it in game. But another member of our community, Reese, very kind individual, he gifted it to me just recently. So now I have a Mercury Star Runner. It's great for our little multi-crew adventures on stream. It's good for us just hanging out as a community. And it'll be a great, I guess, daily driver for me.
And the only ship that will not survive, other than the $0 ones, that'll kind of not survive my chopping block. Because the
MSR is king.
Yeah. But you told us. So what did you tell us? You told us data running, smuggling, and exploration is what you told us.
Yes.
And so from that, what I'm going to do though is, because I had the advantage of being on live stream and Algared didn't, I'm going to flick over to what I recommended. But I think we'll start out with what Algared possibly suggested was, instead of the Banu Merchantman Algared, do you want to talk about your suggestion potentially instead of the Banu Merchantman?
Yeah, well, I think potentially one of the ships, based on what you were saying you were after, would be an Endeavour. Because the Endeavour is the top end of science, exploration, research. And the science ability and the ability to crunch data means you'll be able to decrypt data that you gather. Mm-hmm. The telescope will enable you to gather data. So it's kind of the end goal of all those ships. And at the moment, it is the cheapest ship for what it is in game. It's probably the best value ship. So that's one ship. When I was looking at what you were saying you wanted, I was thinking an Endeavour straight off. But also don't forget you do have that Raven, and the Raven is actually a data runner / e-warfare ship, so it will fit into that role that you wanted as well. So, but yeah, I definitely think the Endeavour's a ship you want to look at.
I don't necessarily disagree with Algared. I just think I would put the Banu Merchantman in the preference of what you gave me before that. If you were to look at another ship, say there was another, like say down the line you wanted to buy another ship, the the Endeavour is definitely one I would put on that list. Yeah. All right, so I kind of took the reins with this one. So the first three we're not going to worry about because these were all referrals and they kind of can't be getting rid of. So the MSR totally hits for me. The smuggling, the data running. In fact, one of the ones I threw at him in the stream, Algared, that because he just hated it, I kind of ruled it out, was the Retaliator, because as you and I know, best smuggler in the game at the moment.
Make me sound like I'm anti-Retaliator.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm anti-Origin. I'm anti-Origin. Right. You can be anti-Retaliator. It's totally fine.
I don't discriminate.
Yeah, so
but Retaliator does offer that variety of gameplay just because of the components, the modules that it does have. But if you're after a data runner, explorer, smuggler, the MSR is certainly a go-to ship, mainly because it is, as I was saying before we started, the data running is its bread and butter.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it
It'll
gives
pair
you
well.
a daily
It'll
driver
pair
as
well,
well.
and it's a daily driver. It can do cargo. It can do
Yeah.
smuggling. It can do
Yeah.
the data run. Being a data runner, it'll also pair well, I think, with the Raven. So you've got two ships that really fit nicely into that data running, gathering type gameplay. From what I understand, that the Raven will be as well.
I think
The Raven is planned to be able to transport data.
I don't think he means it that way. What he means is the e-warfare part of it. So basically, e-warfare can corrupt data and stuff like that. So
yeah, it could be defense against.
Well, if someone's trying to, if someone's trying to steal your data, you could definitely go up and EMP them and stop them. I don't think it actually carries data, not to my knowledge, but
the way it was originally built, it does have that kind of dynamic, but how much we don't know.
So they're actually, I might have to read up on the Raven again, but I don't remember ever carrying data. But that's news to me. I'll have to look into that.
That'd be interesting. So does the Raven fit in the Carrick?
No.
I think it looks too big.
No, but also you'll have the Pisces back, though it just doesn't show up on this list because of the pack. So you'll have that back as your little mini daily driver as you're talking, so it's still there. You also get the Carrick, so basically that bundles in what you wanted to look for in the Terrapin, and also because you've got these bigger ships now, like a Banner Merchantman or an Endeavour or whatever you end up going with, and the Carrick, you can use that to earn those smaller ships fairly quickly anyway. Obviously, the reason why I put the Banner Merchantman here instead of the Eclipse is that it takes the ability from the data you gather here, and you can turn them into physical items. So, for example, like a USB stick, so to speak, and you can then sell them in the shop here. You also mentioned on the live stream that you wanted the possibility of doing cargo, so that gives you that as well. So, taking the data you get from both the MSR and the Carrick, it gives you the ability to sell that plus the smuggling stuff. So if you smuggle some rare cargo, you can sell that as well. So to me, that was a real cross-pollination of all three of those ships. And yes, that kind of does have a cross-pollination with the Endeavour, just not as much as it does with the Banner Merchantman. And that's why I think the Banner Merchantman just edges out the Endeavour. If you were talking a bang for buck, though, yes, the Banner Merchantman is going to cost you $100 extra over the Endeavour at the moment. And that Endeavour is, as we said, look to really skyrocket in value in the future. But you've got your options there anyway. So
and the other thing that comes in with these three top ships is they all do function quite nicely as cargo runners. So you got 96. 113 SCU in the MSR. You've got several hundred in the Carrick. I can't remember how much is in, and 3,000 odd in the Banu. So all three of those ships will enable you to do cargo running.
At different levels.
Different levels, and then that can also come into whether you say, well, okay, which of these ships do any of these ships do science or exploration? So if you can change the scanner on the MSR, then that gives you an ability to possibly use that for a different thing. I think the Carrick does exploration in a different way, so it does the jump point mapping and the jump point exploration as well as using its scanners for other things. And so you might decide, well, I don't need that one. I'll look at other things. But in terms of solid ships, those three are solid ships that I don't think would leave you going, oh crap, I've got this ship. What am I?
There is.
I don't.
I was just going to say, there is one little thing that I didn't kind of take into account with the Endeavour, is you are getting a hell of a lot of extra gameplay beyond what you asked for. So you're getting, your hospital, you're getting, resupply, you're also getting all the science stuff and all the farm stuff, all that stuff. So there is a benefit to that. You are getting shipped beyond that. And I do 100% with Algared. I think you'll be happy with either the Banner Merchantman or the Endeavour, and I do.
I don't think you could go wrong.
Yeah, I don't think you could go wrong with either of them, and I think if you did go to another ship, that would be the one that I recommend you know, if you're going to get a fourth, I'd go Banner Merchantman or Endeavour.
And if you're looking at the ships, like if you go Endeavour, it's the top tier of its profession.
Yeah.
Same with the Carrick, top tier of its profession.
Yeah. To tell you guys, actually, go ahead.
And because they have a top tier of their profession, I think you're pretty safe with those ships. The Banu, just because it's got the stalls and cargo and other things, and it's alien and it looks cool. Again, I don't think you can go wrong with that.
Yeah, I think it's not top tier though, because I think it's kind of been replaced by the privateer now. But
that's right.
Still
it's not top tier, but it's still a good ship.
All right.
I think
Space
so.
Tomato. So go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Well, I don't say the value. Yes, the size, the relative size of these ships, how big a deal they are in relativity to other ships, is part of the reason that I've held off on upgrading to them. As I said before, my biggest ship before was a mole. And that was a contest win. The biggest ship besides that was a 325. And then obviously the Talon. I have a very strong desire to still make sure that I have a lot to shoot for when I start the game. And so I've kept away from buying some of those bigger ships, or buying any ships really. But there's also, there's more to it than just earning ships.
You can use one big ship to earn everything you need. That's kind of the like I would rather have one big ship than 5 small ones. Because I can use that one big ship to very quickly earn back those 5 small ones. And we did talk about that today on your stream a couple of times.
I think it's just a matter of reevaluating how I plan on playing the game.
Yeah, it's a very common thing we run into, is people are very apprehensive because it's like it feels daunting. And
like with the, I'll say with the Endeavour, while it's a big ship, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to quickly earn back or earn money to earn the other ships, just because of what it does. Medical, if you're charging for medical, sure. If you're farming and growing drugs, sure. But in general, I'm not sure how well it'll do, because we just don't have those gameplay loops.
Also, you need to earn the modules as well, where you don't kind of need to do that with a Banner Merchantman. But
whereas you do the Banner Merchantman or the Carrick, because of their cargo, we know we can make money out of them.
But you were talking about earning stuff in game, or things to shoot for. If you have the Endeavour, it kind of snowballs on its own, because you get one module and then it turns to 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then so you kind of got that little mini. It's like its own little mini ecosystem that ship. Are you kind of happy with kind of how that all turned out? I know when I started talking to you, I could hear the tone of your voice. You almost seemed a little stressed and apprehensive, but as we went forward on the stream and talked about stuff, you seemed to your questions came out, and it just kind of got more and more chilled and relaxed as you kind of unfolded to a realization of it seemed better. I don't know. I don't know if that's
well, I've not really. I mean, I might be a bit of a different case as somebody who is super into this game, very clearly very into the game, and everything surrounded it. I am very apathetic when it comes to what ships I own, or really what the plan is ahead of me in terms of ships, because I'm not really that concerned with playing the game in any one way. I'm mostly concerned in just getting to enjoy the game. And I think throughout the lifetime of me playing that game, I'll get to do everything I want. I'll get every ship I want, all of that. So I'm not super concerned about what ships I'm getting. But I do, since we started talking, I think the biggest thing that I considered that changed maybe my tone and how you felt I was looking at this was the possibility of how I might be playing with other people in the future, especially as going forward as a content creator, maybe having my own group. I need to consider the ships that I might take out with other people and how that would factor in. So it helps to look at it that way. And I think this was super, super helpful in helping me sort of nail down where I can start from, considering those things.
But I think something like this is also helpful in terms of, while you said, you're generally apathetic in terms of what chips you've got, and you just want to be able to play the game and enjoy the game. You said the things I want to do are exploration and data running and smuggling.
Yeah.
Then
Because I mean, I know I'm gonna get to those at some
point.
know
What
what
have you got a
Algared's
Nox
gonna-
for? What have you got?
Yeah.
You know, what have you
Yeah.
got this ship for? So
Yeah.
this type of thing can help you consolidate your ships into being able to do the gameplay you want to do, rather than having ships and gameplay that you don't really want to do. A 325A might be a great fighter,
Yeah,
but it's
I
not
think
a great
it's
explorer. It's not a great
absolutely, yeah. And I think
It-
that's probably because I've been in this for so long. My
Yep.
views, my opinions, my favorite ships have changed over time, so I bought different things. But like, I always just thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna explore at some point. Like,
Yep.
And a
I
few
don't
of
need
your
to get the ship to
ships-
do it now.
A few
It's
of your
nice,
ships
but
you didn't even get to pick yourself. You were gifted or you won them, or
Yep.
so that's
yeah, most of my ships I didn't pick, but I'm cool with that.
But the other thing you've got with those small referral ships is you can CCU them into bigger ships you want down the track.
Yeah, and those are
Um,
things that I'm not super on par with, like, understanding CCUs and buybacks and all that stuff, which I need to, because I need to do a video about it at some point. But that
Well,
is
yeah.
useful.
like
But
you decide
we
if
did-
you went, say,
We did talk to him on stream about, for example, he wanted to hold on to the mole to show that. So what I wanted to talk about there was just exit strategies. So
Yep.
that would be an exit strategy out into something like the mole or the Endeavor, or whatever ship he decides to go to. So he does know that as well. So he doesn't have to, like, if he wants to hold on to the Terrapin until such time as that comes out, and he can, and I mean in game and play because they're using that as the test bed for the modules and stuff. He can do that.
Mhm.
He's just got to realize
Yeah.
that the more time goes on, he's got to have those
The more-
CCUs in place. He
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
have to pay more. Yeah.
and those small ships, those small little free ships, the Nox, the Dragonfly, even though you didn't get the Nox free, the Nox, the Dragonfly, or the Dragonfly, because that's a free one. The Gladius, that's a free one.
Yeah,
They can be CCU'd into, you decide you want to do a fighter. They can be
Right.
CCU'd into an Arrow or a Talon.
yeah. This will
down
be
the
my
track.
year of figuring that stuff. 2021 will be the year of understanding for me.
So just real
And-
quick, I'm going to go back to the browser. So currently, just so we're on the same page, because I think Algared's a little bit behind because he had the disadvantage of not being on the stream. The Gladius and the 325A, they're probably going to be what the Banu and the Carrick are turned into.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
because the Gladius is a free one, it has to stay. Oh, sorry, the mole and the Gladius.
Yeah.
yeah.
The 325 was a package.
And the 325 was a package. So we're going to have to look in that after the show, but basically
Yep.
probably melt the 325A and rebuy the package back, or help him out with some CCUs. So there is a little bit of a question there about a potential of a fourth ship, because of the ships that he has are kind of stuck in position. So it looks like that if he wants to only have the 3, you'd have to melt the current MSR and upgrade one of the others. So that we'll talk with him about behind the scenes, but it'll basically
And the
turn out to be
Raven,
something
the
like
Raven's
this.
one you don't want to touch, because it is a special ship, just because
Yeah.
it's hard to get.
Yeah.
And so that gives you your Dragonfly as a ship to play around with, to CCU to something else down the track if you want, So, and you want a smaller ship, because it's a small value ship, so you could actually CCU up to I decide I really want a Gladius again. CCU your Dragonfly to a Gladius,
Okay.
and that way you've still got those ships and those exit strategies to those big ships, but you've still got the gameplay that you can use.
All right, Space Tomato, where can people find you and your content?
Oh boy, you guys can find me anywhere.
Anywhere.
Most of my stuff is here on YouTube, and you'll find all kind of stuff there. Cinematics, news videos. I do stuff about the progress the game is making. Weekly reviews, monthly reviews, yearly reviews. I also do ship reviews. I just did one for the interior of an Idris, if you've never seen that. And just feature and opinion related videos. I'm also on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. I have a Discord server if you guys like to join that. But yeah, anywhere really. Just look for the tomato.
You also did a video recently that I'm about halfway through. I was like, this is so long, on the new what is Star Citizen, basically, like a real new player overview. I'm like, I'll watch this, and then I was like halfway through, I was like, God, it's still not over. It's so long.
It's like a little movie.
Yeah, so I was like, holy shit, it was like 40 minutes long. I was like, this is crazy. But anyway, so I'm about halfway
I did
through
it
that.
I did it before last year, and I did it in 3 videos, which were like 20 minutes each. And I was like, it's too much. I need to try and make it concise for people who are new to the game. I got it to 25 minutes. Maybe
and now you're blown out to 40.
Yeah, I tried to get it down to explaining Star Citizen in a paragraph, and I did get it once, but it's pretty hard, and I forgot what I said.
Yeah. You miss a lot. You miss a lot. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If you like this type of content from us, like this type of content, subscribe. If you want to follow us and help us extra mile with gear and stuff on Patreon, all that type of stuff. Please leave us a comment below what you think of Space Tomato's comments. Also, that reference I dropped before.
Good comment.
Yeah. Anything else? Let you know your thoughts on maybe just for Tomato himself when he reads the comments. Do you reckon he should get a banner merchman based on what he said, or an Eclipse? Oh, not an Eclipse, sorry, Endeavor. God, I'm terrible with those. I always mix up my names.
Or an Eclipse. If you think I should get an Eclipse, you can comment that too.
Gladiator and Gladius. I do that all the time. I'm really bad. Anyway,
oh, yeah.
All right. He's been Algared. He's been Space Tomato. I've been Execute. And we'll catch you all in the next one.
Take care.
All right. See you guys later.